You're listening to the Board Game Snobs podcast, a ridiculous podcast with ridiculous hosts that discuss ridiculous things. And any mention of board games is purely coincidental. And so, without further ado, and with a heavy dollop of shame and embarrassment on my part, I give you the Board Game Snobs.
Hello and welcome to Board Game Snobs. My name's Dan Hughes, your new permanent host for the Board Game Snobs. And with me is the temporary host of the Board Game Snobs, it's Gaby Moraga. Hello, Gaby.
Hello. Thanks for having me on.
I've taken over.
It's about time.
It's about time I claim my birthright. It's like Game of Thrones. I've come in, I've usurped Jerry. It's me who's going to be the new alcoholic co-host of the show.
Well, we just traded in an American nurse for a British nurse.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm sure you're going to complain about your duties as well.
My duties are all over the place. Not enough fiber. That's what I say. That's the problem.
That's you clean that up.
Yeah.
Well, so you've been a busy man with your duties, though. Not your duties, but with your let's see, what's another word for duties? Well, nurses call them bowel movements, right? Like you wouldn't call them duties. Like you don't go up to your patient and say, "Oh, you've had a good duty today, I see."
I don't deal with that end of things. I deal with the head end, the brain end.
The other
I don't deal with the bottoms. I don't deal with the Bristol stool chart. Do you have a Bristol stool chart in the US?
I don't know what that is. Jerry might, but I do not.
It's a chart that nurses throughout the land have on their bathroom walls after
is it spackled against the walls? What is it?
It's this chart of how to rate feces. So it goes from little rabbit pellets, which is a number one on the Bristol stool charts, and then kind of to more kind of clumpy stuff, then a kind of normal looking log, then a slithery kind of slimy looking sausage. And then to kind of flaky little bits, and then just a soup. And it's the Bristol chart. And as a student nurse, every student nurse grabs one of these and sticks it straight up on their bathroom wall because it is, after all, the height of wit. Now, Bristol's a town in the UK, so I presume it came from there. So I wonder if Americans have the Delaware stool chart or something like that.
I do not know. I do not know. What is the number? What number are you to strive for?
Well, you want to be somewhere mid-table. You want to be kind of 3 or 4, I think. I don't have the numbers exactly memorized, Gaby. It's not something I've committed to my memory.
You don't have them all committed.
No.
Well, I'm probably on the 10 side. If it goes to 10.
Look, that's all the Diet Coke you drink.
Yeah,
all the caffeine, it just sends it straight through you.
All that fat, trans fats, triglycerides, all that stuff.
Yeah. No. And there's something about whether it floats or sinks, but I can't remember which is best. But that could be witches I'm thinking of.
Whereas
it's either witches or turds, and I'm not entirely sure which one it is.
That's what they're like. We're going to find out if you're a turd or not. See if you float in the water.
Exactly. You don't want it too floating, otherwise you can't get down. I tell you what, toilets in the US are different to toilets in the UK. That's one thing you'll notice when you come and visit me, Gaby.
How so?
Well, you often have a little shelf on your toilet, so you can examine what I presume is so you can examine. It drops onto a shelf, doesn't it? Then get washes away. Is that right?
It's in a bowl, toilet bowl.
Yeah, but there's a shelf within the bowl.
Yeah,
whereas in the UK, it drops straight into a pond, into a chasm of a pond.
So every toilet's connected to a pond.
Well, it's connected to water. There's standing water in the bottom of the toilet bowl, and there's no little dry shelf that your turd falls onto. It goes plop straight into the water with a satisfying
out of sight
popping noise. Not out of sight. No, if you want to have a look round, you can have a look. You can still have a look at it, but It's floating. This is where the floating thing comes in. Floating or sinking. Board game pod. You see, I don't even have to worry about the dice tower on this podcast, do I?
Off to a fantastic start.
Yeah, I'm the designer of a kids game, you know.
Kids love doo-doo.
They do.
Fart jokes.
That is true. That is true.
Potty humor, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
Is that one of the monsters you fight? A big turd on CoraQuest.
A big turd. No. Although I have introduced the concept of using a spellbook as lavatory paper. A troll using a spellbook as lavatory paper in one of the quests I've written. So there you go. Because as you say, kids like toilet humor.
They do. I do. It's universal. It's universal. And if you act like you don't, then you're just putting on a facade.
It's like if you act like you don't like Marvel movies. We all know you. We all know you think you're cut above the rest. Ben Maddox, Kellen Laker.
Yeah, I saw those.
Yeah.
Speaking of which.
Yes.
Oh, good grief. No wonder my sound was going. I had like every level up on all these microphones that are non-existent on my mixer. The trials and tribulations of being a podcaster, an editor, a sound guy. So many things. All going unappreciated.
My dad was a sound engineer. That's one of his many jobs.
Really?
Yeah.
For what?
He used to make microphones for acoustic instruments. That was one of his side gigs.
And he used
to be a big into folk music, and he used to do running the soundboard for folk gigs on the side, so he got paid for that as well. Did all sorts of stuff.
He traveled the world, right, in a van?
In a bus, double-decker bus, yep.
I remember you telling that story.
Yeah.
What a life. What a life. Although, I will say, having just come back from my vacation trip to Miami.
That's right, you did go to Miami. Did you do the Burn Notice tour?
No. I didn't. Okay, this is what happened.
I'm going to Miami soon. You'll have to give me some
tips. I saw. No, I can give you none. I did. Here's the thing. I went down to see family that I haven't seen in quite some time. And actually, I've never visited them in Miami. They just moved there.
Are those ones you said you didn't like when you were talking to the others?
No, I love them because they listen. They listen.
Do they?
No, they recently moved from Maryland to Miami. So I went to go see them in Miami. But we flew in Wednesday at noon. We had Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we're flying home Sunday morning. We woke up at 3 a.m., 3 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning, to fly home. It was absolutely atrocious. Absolutely. The traveling, although I've gotten a little bit better about what to expect come through security and all the TSA is just there to frighten you. Like, you would think they would be kind and understanding.
Oh, no. I tell you what.
But they are not. They do not understand.
The American security system is the most unfriendly, obnoxious, power-hungry bunch of wankers.
It's stressful.
I've ever come across. They really are unpleasant. For some reason, when you're not a US citizen, you have to queue for literally hours to get out. This is in Orlando and New York, and Chicago. So I'm guessing it's the same everywhere. Literally queuing for hours to get through that. And they get really angry if you look at your phone. They say you're not allowed to wear headphones. It's like, why do you care if I'm looking at my phone? Or do you think I'm listening to kind of bomb instructions on my headphones? What on earth? What difference does it make for you? I just think they're just horrible. I always have trouble getting through customs because there's somebody with my name and approximate birth age who is a convicted prisoner. And they always pull me aside for an additional hour to make sure I'm not that person.
It's the beard. The beard makes you look suspicious.
Yeah. That and my range of crimes behind my crime sprees that I've perpetrated.
And it's that, it's the whole situation of like, even if you haven't done anything bad, you just feel so stressed out. You feel guilty. No matter what you've done, you feel guilty. Just like I've wore my shoes accidentally. I had a lone tissue in my right pocket the time I traveled before this one. They chewed me out. I got in the x-ray machine, put my hands up. I had a snot rag in my right pocket, and he chewed me out for getting that. And I'm like, this is like the first time I've flown ever. Calm down. but I didn't say that.
Land of the free, Gaby.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I was just a nervous wreck. But this time, I was prepared. I got everything. I almost took my pants off, my shirt off. I just didn't want you to, they ain't going to get nothing on me this time. I took my belt off, my shoes off, threw my phone and I even did like my phone wrong last time. Like and it changes every time you go through. But anyway, this time, no problems going through security other than the stress and the having to be there at 4:00 in the morning, which is ridiculous. And then getting on these small planes and being squished together like sardines and flying through the air at 700 miles an hour, possibly, just the slightest thing that could happen. You know what could happen to a plane if something hits it at 700 miles an hour?
Yeah, but it doesn't, though, does it? It very, very rarely happens.
I know, and that's just so shocking to me. And Jerry kept saying, it's the safest way to travel, right? Well, yes, I've heard that my whole life. I know. But it still doesn't negate the fact it's terrifying.
Unless you get a suicidal pilot like that one was it a Malaysian airline? The one who just decided to dump his plane into a sea.
I remember that one. The one a few years ago?
Yeah, it went missing a few years ago. And I was watching something recently about it. And the conclusion is basically that the pilot was suicidal and just...
Why take out everyone else with yourself?
I don't know. There's some...
So selfish.
There's some...
Well, that's that mental stuff. That's what... Is that what you're dealing with on a daily basis?
Suicidal people, yeah, generally not people who are suicidal and wanting to take other people with them. That doesn't happen very often.
You've been telling me you've been pretty stressed out here lately. Is it going to get better anytime soon?
No.
I'm worried about your own mental health, Dan.
No, I'm quite worried about my mental health as well, to be honest. But no, it's not going to get any better. The entire NHS system is broken, but I don't particularly want to talk about that at the moment. But the entire system is shot due to years of underfunding and poor resources. So the entire system's collapsing. So that's fun.
The world is going down in flames.
Well, it certainly feels that way.
So let's distract ourselves with movies and board games.
Exactly. And try not to think about the heat death of the universe, as it were. I keep getting snippets of my own self coming back through my ear holes. Is that your incompetence? Or is that normal for a recording?
You sound right for me.
Okay, that's fine. As long as you don't come back to me and start accusing me of ruining your finely crafted podcast. He's looking at his phone while I'm speaking.
This is what I do.
That's how tedious I am.
Keep talking, Dan. Just keep talking.
Okay. Gaby is now looking at his phone.
No, you're not supposed to say that. We're not supposed to know.
I have been playing board games. I can talk about board games if you want.
You've been playing board games? I have not been playing board games.
Obsession.
Oh, yeah, I saw this. Go ahead.
Yeah, mainly because I said the excellent joke. It's more like Downtime Abbey.
I need full disclosure. Did you come up with that?
Yes, I did.
That's a good one.
It was a joint venture between me and Mike the Pillock Pool, I think. I was certainly in discussion with him. So I'm claiming it as my own. It took a while to come up with. It wasn't an instantaneous gag. I had to workshop it a bit, that kind of stuff.
Went into a few clubs, a few nightclubs. Been playing a game here lately called, instead of Downton Abbey,
find it down to a type 5 and then Downtime Abbey. It's like I've told you before the story about when I did I've told whatever podcast it was, a board game gag in a best man's speech, and it went down like a lead balloon.
What was that gold nugget again?
I can't remember.
You can't even remember.
I don't want to go into it. I'm getting flashbacks.
If you're going to get yourself a type 5, you got to write this stuff down.
It's true. I don't think I'll be a very good comedian.
The comedian process fascinates me. I mean, they say they just sit down and you just have to write and write and write and write. And like, I have sat down and wrote, and I don't know if it's in this notebook. Like, I tried it. I was like, let me sit down and see if I can just write until I come up with something funny. I've got a notebook full of stuff. None of it's funny.
Yeah.
So it's not this notebook.
I think you have to be a funny person as well, Gaby. I think that's the issue. He's on his phone again.
No,
he's on his phone again.
You're not supposed to call me out every time I'm on my phone, Dan.
What are you doing? You're taking a photo.
No, see, there's in my notes. Let me see. Oh, I do have one. I said, I wrote it down. So I got a driving job subcontracted out to Quaker Oats. You know who that is? Quaker Oats. Do y'all have those in England?
I'm aware of them. Yes.
It's oatmeal. So I'm gonna call my company driving for Quaker Oats called Hall & Oats.
Nice.
That's it. Thank you, everybody. Yeah. See you tomorrow.
That's where just if you said it really slow, that would be a tight 5. I'm going to go see a comedian on Wednesday, and he's known in the UK by a few people. He's not really well known, but he's the comedian's comedian. He's the one that they all go to see. All the comedians feel he's a really talented comedian. Do you know what I mean? He's like quite artistic with it and all stuff. His name's Daniel Kitson. But I went to college, but it's not university. It's between the age of 16 and 18. I went to school with him, and I didn't know him at that time, but I was in the same kind of year and and it's just exciting that he was in my this really famous, who's not famous at all, so even British people won't know who he is, but a really well regarded comedian. So I'm going to see him on Wednesday. It's the first time I've ever seen him, which I'm quite excited about.
I love stand-up comedy. I love comedy, so any comedy shows that come on, I tend to watch as many of them as I can. You know, pick up notes here and there. It still doesn't work, but do what you got to do.
Well, what are you trying to make you a funny guy? What are you trying to make work?
I'm not a funny. See, no, that's why I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm not funny.
Okay, you're not a funny guy then. That's
Thank
fine.
you.
Yeah,
you're funny.
I am. I'm hilarious.
See, you made me just laugh. It's good.
Your laugh is fantastic, though. That's why you need to stop moving away from the microphone. You need a laugh. You're the board game snobs laugh track.
But I don't want to. Sometimes if I do it, it kind of blows out the. I redline it.
Well, you need to let it flow, Gaby. You need to let it flow. That's what I say. So Obsession, it's all right, but it's not as good as everyone say it is. No one go out and pay over the odds for it. Just wait till it comes out properly, for goodness sake.
Well, do you say that comes out properly? Like, it's been out for years.
I know, but it's been out in short runs, hasn't it?
I thought it was like just a self-published type deal. Like, that's just his thing, and I don't think, is it ever going to come out like in a massive publishing?
Yeah, but he won't be publishing loads of stuff. I don't know who publishes it, but it's definitely a small publisher. They won't want to take the big risk of publishing a massive amount and then have loads left over. Yeah. So they keep printing small amounts which sell out, which kind of keeps the hype going. Yeah. So and plus at the moment it's so hard to. I mean, CoraQuest, not to mention CoraQuest, but CoraQuest is the retail's still not out for that. It was meant to be out at the beginning of the year.
Got to meet the status quo. Dan said he'd come on if we mentioned CoraQuest. All right.
Yeah, take that off.
Two more times. Two more times.
But there was a number of problems with the translations and then various things. But Shanghai got locked down, so that. And now it's just starting to be published now, as in printed. Very frustrating for someone as impatient as me, who's worried about all the hype wearing off.
And would you go through all that again?
Yes.
Why?
Because it was quite exciting as well.
So it's worth it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it was worth it. The bits that aren't worth it. I mean, I'm finding the retail publishing process a bit frustrating because I'm absolutely no power over that whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So I'm just basically occasionally pestering Bright Eye, and they're going as quick as they can. It's just all these. Fortunately, we missed all these delays getting it out. I think if Shanghai had gone down into lockdown when I was trying to get it published, the Kickstarter version out to people, I would have found that very difficult because I felt a big responsibility to get it to people in time. And we managed to roughly get it to people in time. Only a few weeks late, which isn't bad for Kickstarter. But no, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the process of creating the Kickstarter. I enjoyed the publicizing it at the beginning. I enjoyed the design of it. I certainly wouldn't rule out doing another Kickstarter, Gaby, and I can't announce anything particularly, but I certainly wouldn't rule one out. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Something related to CoraQuest?
Yes, something very related. I can't say.
Okay, so why is that? There's so many people they go on Twitter and they're like, something big's coming up I can't talk about. Why can't you talk about it? What is it usually?
I'll tell you why I can't talk about it. Whatever. No, you're bamboozling me now down a road. I think a lot of the time people can't talk about it because they've made the negotiation to sign the contract, and the problem with saying something's coming is that people start saying when's it going to arrive. So it's a lot easier not to say that because there can be so many months in between when you want something to arrive to when it actually does arrive that you then have to deal with the hype dying down, or you have to deal with people's expectations and then people say, well, they said it was meant to be out this time and it's not, because there's nothing more irritating than those people. So fortunately, we didn't have to deal with many of those people.
I thought some of it might just be like hype building. Something big's coming up.
Yeah, some of it might be that, but also some of it may be agreements with other people about announcing the news, which may or may not be.
Makes sense. Like they don't have all the loose ends tied up yet.
No, as in you may have agreed with a certain tower of dice, whatever.
Oh, okay. Go on.
No, I can't. That's what I'm saying. Goodness me!
Just you're going to get me more. Just a little bit more. I'm waiting on a Kickstarter. I'm waiting on a Kickstarter that was, and I understand pandemic, shipping, world is in crisis, and blah blah blah. But it was supposed to have been here February, and I still do not have it. And it's a little bit. It's a smaller game, but I know the big ships have problems getting into the tiny harbors or something like that.
Yeah, it's an absolute nightmare. Everywhere it's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. And that's why I have, unlike other people, I haven't gotten on wherever and said, hey, where's my game at? Because I know I'm a very understanding fellow. Very understanding.
Yeah. I'll tell you what's worse, and I'm not criticizing anybody here because it's the kind of thing I do, but then when you deliver your game in January,
yeah,
and then round about July, for example, maybe the 17th of July, they say, oh, I haven't got my game yet. Where is it? It's like, well, couldn't you have told us that a bit earlier so we could have sorted it out instead of 6 months?
So you're saying I need to say something?
No, because none of the games are arrived, are they?
I don't know. I think some people are getting them. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. But what I'm saying is when you fulfilled everyone else, then 6 months later, anyway, whatever. Listen, you're trapping me into bad-mouthing my backers. You're trapping me into announcing things I don't want to announce. And you just basically, you've bamboozled, you've flim-flammed me onto this podcast, made me wait 3 hours for you to sort out turning your computer on or something like that. And now
there was something you said about something Delicio, something.
He's looking at his phone again. He's addicted to it.
I'm nervously making X's on a piece of paper, and I don't know why. Why am I doing that? I don't know. It's because
I'm berating you. Why are you doing that?
I don't know.
That's not normal.
I'm a weird person, Dan. And
yeah.
I didn't know I was a weird person until I started hanging out with other people. And that's when you know you're
Think you're like a moon. Are you practicing to become a moonshine runner? That's what they've got on the jugs, isn't it? Those XXX.
If I'm going to blow into them making music, I need the X's to be on them.
Yeah.
But, I went on vacation. So we went to BGG Spring.
Yeah. You played games there?
Played games there, and we've already discussed all of them.
Oh, that's no use, is it?
And I have not, that was May 30th, like May 30, how long is May? January, February, March, April, May. May's 31 days. So, did you ever do that? You ever look at your knuckles and do the long and the short?
No, I just assume I don't know how many days there are and wait till somebody else volunteers that information.
I learned that a long time ago. If you start with the months of the year and you start with your pointer finger knuckle, because it's a knuckle, it's long, so it's January. The valley between the knuckles is February, and etc. So that's your long months and your short months. And even when you get to your last knuckle, that's going to be July and August.
I was going to say that means. So you're telling me you got 6 fingers. So that fits in. That fits in with the moonshine.
Yeah. So you go January, February, March, April, May, June. So July, long month. August, also a long month. Then back to the valley. I think I learned that in grade school, but it works and I still use it.
Was this when you were 18 years old? 18 years old, you were sat in the corner with the teacher teaching you how to count on your knuckles where everyone else is doing long division and stuff like that.
If you learned whether the months were long or short according to your knuckles, email us at boardgamesnobs@gmail.com because I learned that a long time ago and I constantly use it. Anyway, so May 31st was the last day we played a game. What is today? Today, as of this recording, is June 19th.
of June.
I have not played a single thing since. I take that back. I hopped on BGA a couple days ago and played one game of Can't Stop in 5 minutes. And
that doesn't count, BGA. No, everyone knows online games don't count. And app games don't. Anything you can play from the toilet doesn't count.
I count my BGA games.
Well, then your stats are invalid, sir.
But I don't count all my Can't Stop games because, I mean, you can play 100 of them in a day. And
it's true. The problem with that game is you just can't stop.
I bought the physical copy. I bought the physical copy. That's how much I like it.
I think it's overrated, Can't Stop. I don't think it's a very good game. It takes so long.
I thoroughly disagree with you.
Well, it's all right. One person in the podcast has to be wrong, and today it's you. So that's fine.
I love that game.
Last time I played Can't Stop, it just took forever. Absolutely forever.
Well, it does. The app does spoil you. BGA is amazing.
Yeah, well, that's why I don't really play Ticket to Ride anymore either, because I kind of played out the app. Since
BGG Spring, nothing.
Oh, let's not talk about you not playing games. Let's talk about me playing games, because I've been playing games, baby. Oh, yeah, I've been playing them like there's no tomorrow.
To compensate, Dan's been playing games. But what have you been playing besides CoraQuest?
I've been playing Obsession, or as I like to call it, Downtime Abbey.
Oh, if I just had a rim shot in here, that would be perfect.
That's the Bristol stool chat again. Right, so Downtime Abbey, which was all right, but don't buy it. Just wait till it comes out properly and just buy a copy, pick it up, because it's all right. But it's just a Euro. It's just a Euro-y game. It's got a nice theme. I've been playing Isle of Cats, which I did enjoy. That was good. Have you played Isle of Cats?
That we have. I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right for a polyanonymous game. I've been playing My City, which is another polyanonymous game.
Jerry and his wife played that, and he thoroughly enjoyed it. I've never played it.
It's good. It's good. I've been playing with Cora and my wife. So it's been a family legacy type adventure. I've been playing Trails. Is that the card game for Parks? Trails? It's all right. It's all right.
I don't have any interest in any of those games.
I'd rather play Parks, and Parks isn't a great... Well, Parks is all right, but it's not...
I thought all those games were part of the same thing as Cascadia, but apparently Cascadia is its own thing.
Yeah, Cascadia is rubbish. Have you played Cascadia?
We played it the first game of BGG Spring, and I was surprised that I did enjoy it.
You were surprised you did enjoy it? I'm not saying... Actually, I'm just going to say... I'm not saying it's rubbish.
You just did.
I just did say it's rubbish. I just think it's okay, and I think it's vastly overhyped.
Oh, well, that's every game these days.
Not CoraQuest. CoraQuest is underhyped, if anything.
No. Oh, wait. Okay, you have one mention left.
Okay, I'll save it for the end. Yeah, so I've been playing that, and I played another game while I was there. Oh, it's not called Let's Make a Bus Route anymore. It's called something else, isn't it? But I played whatever Let's Make a Bus Route is now called.
Tokyo Highway?
No. That's Tokyo Highway is a dexterity game. Let's Make a Bus Route's a kind of, in it you make a bus route. So that's my in-depth review. And that's good. That's good, although... In all of these games, at one point, I sulked, I became frustrated, and quite unpleasant to game with. So that's my raison d'etre at the moment, I think.
That's every game, right?
Pretty much at the moment, yeah. I've redefined myself. I've discovered that I'm not the easygoing, relaxed individual I thought I was. I'm actually someone who takes umbrage at the slightest sense of frustration or unfairness.
We had a discussion about this while I was on vacation in Miami that you don't want me to talk about no more.
I'm happy for you to talk about it, but you just keep saying, I went to vacation in Miami. You never actually get past that sentence.
Because
you haven't got out of the bloody airport yet.
You started talking
about... give me some tourist information.
I think you started talking about CoraQuest when I was talking about it.
That doesn't count as my last mention. That was you mentioning that.
That was me. I'll allow it. But anyway, I was talking about myself, which I sometimes like to do, but how earlier I used to think of myself as laid back and easygoing, but I came to terms with the fact that I am not. I'm high maintenance. I'm very anxious. I'm stressed out. I worry. But when I was a teenager, I was not. I've changed.
Do you know why that is? It's because you didn't realize what was going on. That's why. You hadn't realized
what was going
pitfalls
on in the world or with me?
Yeah, pitfalls of existence.
I guess so.
That's why.
So the world has broken me, is what you're saying.
Yeah. You and me both, mate. You and me both.
I am. I used to be, and my mom used to call me like, we always watch Star Trek together. She's like, you're like Spock. Like, nothing bothers you emotionally. That's because there was nothing significant I went through emotionally as a teenager. It was pretty, nothing major. It's not until life beats you down and death and jobs.
Yeah.
And
A cheery note.
You may have to come check me out, Dan, for my mental health.
Oh, well, no, but what did you do in Miami? That's what I want to know. We know about your airport and your cavity searches. What happened?
You know what we did?
What?
We went to the beach and we drank.
Well, that's not very interesting. I don't want to do either of those things.
It was awesome. It was okay. Okay, so they have a free beach where you don't have to park. I mean, you can park for free, and you don't have
right.
Yeah, so you can just go out on the beach.
Well, hang on a second. Do you normally have to pay to get on the beach?
You have to pay for parking.
Right. Okay.
So
well,
it's kind of tricky.
There.
So if you just want to walk several miles while carrying chairs and umbrellas, sure, you can probably get to a beach somewhere for free.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, you got to pay to park, and then of course we didn't have any umbrellas or chairs with us, so we had to pay for their chairs and umbrellas that are there. And that was ungodly expensive. But still, it was worth it. The ocean's wonderful. I could sit by the ocean. I don't like to get in the ocean. I like to sit by the ocean. I like to see it. I like to hear it.
Is there nasty things in the Miami Ocean?
No. Sure, there probably is. But where we were at was very nice. So, I was going to say, the free beach was absolutely disgusting. Absolutely. There was seaweed piled up. It was probably a foot deep and like 4 or 5 feet long, just all down the whole beachfront. So I'm like, this is gross. I don't want to be here. They're like, it's okay. We'll go to South Beach. That's where the popular spot is, right? So the next few days we go to South Beach, and it costs like $40-something to park.
What?
$60-something an hour. No, the chair rental was insane. It was like
$60 an hour.
Yeah, it was insane. It cost us, all I know is my wife come back and she says it cost us like $200 to rent these chairs and these umbrellas.
Oh.
So we're sitting there, but you know what? Crack open the cooler, start drinking. All that starts to fade away as you look at the wonders of the ocean. And also, every other person would walk by with a cooler or a backpack or a duffel bag, and they would be casually whispering out the side of their mouth, you want some margaritas? You want some mojitos? You want some weed? They were constantly offering us drugs and alcohol on this beach.
Just you, no one else?
No, they were doing it to everybody.
Oh.
Maybe they thought I needed it more, but I said no. I said no.
Just say no. That's what the campaign
did say no.
Nancy Reagan would be pleased with you.
I said we brought our own.
Oh, right. Okay.
I don't need yours.
She'd be less pleased at that.
I don't need yours. I've brought all my own.
Excellent.
But my wife kept saying, she's like, what makes people think and it wasn't in a bottle. They were like bringing these these plastic bag, basically like a sandwich plastic bag full of alcohol out.
Like a drip.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And I was like, how do we know what's in that? I don't.
Well, you don't know what's in that.
You don't know what's in it.
Well, one thing that I've learned over the years is do not buy alcohol from people who are passing by and obviously don't want to be caught selling alcohol. It's likely to be. This is back to the bootleggers things again.
It was, and I don't understand it. It's like, because you can bring alcohol on the beach, I think. They just didn't want you to bring glass bottles and stuff.
But they won't want you to sell it. You'll have to have a license to sell it, won't you?
I guess so, yeah. So
that's why they were doing it surreptitiously.
And then also, I've seen Miami Vice. I know who you really are. It was just a
Miami Vice.
You never watched Miami Vice?
No, not in the new one, not the old one. I've seen Burn Notice.
It's just Burn Notice. I love Burn Notice quite personally.
I'm all over Burn Notice.
I don't know that I watched the last season. I don't know that I did.
I don't think I have either. I'm like on season 3 or something like that.
I think I watched like all of them up until that.
Yeah, it's a bit samey, let's face it.
Yeah. Michael, was that his name? Michael?
Yeah, Michael
Weston.
And wow. Michael Preston.
Weston.
Preston.
No, it's with a W.
It is with a W, yeah. He's got his phone out again. He looks like when in Pulp Fiction when you open that when you open the briefcase, the gold of his various illegitimate sights comes up into his face, and his eyes light up.
And also in South Beach, Miami, there are lots of scantily clad people.
Now that can be either good or bad.
Well, there are a lot of. I will say there's a lot of good-looking people in that city.
I will fit right in.
That's what a friend of mine said yesterday. They're like, so clearly they knew you were an outsider. I was like, oh, yeah. Just visiting, are you? Oh, yeah, just visiting.
Bring me some old plastic bags full of margarita.
I mean, there really was a Muscle Beach. There really was just guys just working out.
Yeah, you see, I'm more likely to go for a walk past that area. So walk along the beach rather than sit and I think that's what I'm going to do.
Have you been there? I know you're going, but have you been?
No, I've never been to Miami. No, I've been to Orlando, which is a cesspit, and I've been to Chicago, and I've been to Madison. And I've been to New York, but they're the only places in America I've been to. How many places in England have you been to, Gaby?
Zero. Zero.
Well, you need to come to my house. Look,
I want to.
I mean, I'm in this room that you're going to sleep in. There's a bathroom.
I'm looking at it.
Just there. Look. You won't have. You could even start. Look at that. It's just there. You don't even have to get out of bed.
Does it have? But does it have a shelf? So after I use the restroom, I can see what's going on.
No. There's no shelves in the UK. This is circling back to the real topic of this podcast.
But in Miami though, it's beautiful because there is a walkway all along the beach. It's all along. Sade was out there skating, and we were riding bikes.
Well, that's it. I'm gonna hire a bike and ride up and down the beach, and then die of heat exhaustion.
It is very, very, very hot and humid.
But it won't be too bad in September when I'm going.
Yeah, no. My brother-in-law says actually during the wintertime it's like perfection.
Yeah.
But it was Miami is not like any big city I've ever seen, at least in the United States. But it looks like a tropical city. It looks like I felt like I was in Costa Rica or something because it's very floral, lots of trees. It has a completely different look and feel than I thought it would. I thought I was going to feel like I was in Miami Vice the whole time, but you actually feel like you're in a small Cuban country or something. It was very interesting.
I'm really looking forward to it. Mike and Tom were suggesting that I went to the Everglades, but I'm not really that interested in seeing a swamp. I can understand that it's a unique environment, and I'll never get a chance to see that again. But to somebody from the wilds of Huddersfield, Miami itself will be a unique environment, and there's nothing better than going through a city.
I would want to go to the Everglades only if I could get on a fan boat.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what I was going to do. There's tours that go to the Everglades, and then you get on a fan boat.
That would be fun.
So I still might do. I've only got 1 day here. The rest of the time, I've been entertaining them at work by telling them I'm going to Miami, and then I'm going to spend 90% of the time in an air-conditioned room playing board games.
So I was going. I had made attempts to go see Mike and them down there, but
I know, but you failed. Instead, you wanted to drink margaritas out of a Ziploc bag.
That was very nice. It was very nice. It just time did not permit. I just.
Yeah, you would have been great. You could have gone and you could have done a playthrough, and you could have. I know.
I could have hit the big time. I would have been on the DT on the mainstream.
That's what it needs. This podcast needs to take it out from the sinkhole that it's in now to catapult it.
We're sporadically bored. You put out an episode once every 3 months these days.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Sporadically, once a month is what we aim for, and we were going to record this weekend, but you emailed me, so I put my off.
I appreciate that. I really do.
No, we need to start our own podcast, Gaby. I know we've got one.
I don't
even want to do that one anymore. I'm only doing it out of guilt. But
so
no.
far, okay, look. You had me record Order from Chaos. I've only heard one of the episodes we recorded.
Oh, we only recorded 2. We'll do it at some point.
Well-rounded gamers. We've done 3 and you're done. Like, I don't know. You're going to start one, you just quit. You're a quitter, Dan. You're a quitter.
I'm an innovator.
Is that what they do? You're innovating quitting.
I'm not saying we haven't stopped doing Order from Chaos, just haven't put one out in a while, that's all. It's difficult to know where to put them, that's the problem. There's no easy fit. No, we should start the B-listers podcast, the spurned co-host podcast.
The co-host with nothing else to do.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. The ones with more successful and busy partners.
Yeah.
That's what we should do.
Oh, you have family and careers. Good for you.
Exactly. Yeah. The wallflower podcast, that would what we could call ourselves. And we could what we could do is every week we pick another failed member of a double act. So what? One week we do Garfunkel.
There you go. I'll get JC Chazez from NSYNC.
Yeah. Well, Key and Peele, but one of them's a lot more successful than the other, isn't he?
Jordan.
One's like off Jordan, is he?
Well, the other guy is staying busy, but yeah, Jordan Peele's really hit it big as a director.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll do Ahmed and Thingy in the morning. Troy and Ahmed in the morning. What's his face?
Oh yeah,
Babyface Bambino. What's his name?
Childish Gambino.
Yeah. We're in stuff, Gaby. We're in stuff, but not. We're not getting healthcare hero T-shirts like Jerry and being on the dice tower.
I know. You know what? I just deliver all those things to the healthcare heroes that they wouldn't have without us truck drivers. But you don't hear me bragging about it.
You're right. Essential workers. You were all the rage in the pandemic. Now everyone's forgotten about you.
Nobody cares. I drove right through the pandemic. Nobody cared.
No, I worked all the way through the pandemic, and all I got was this medal. I've lost my medal.
I've seen it before. You showed it to me.
Yeah, you've seen it. I've shown it to everybody.
You flash it around every chance you get.
I wear it to bed, is what I do, because I deserve it, because I am a hero, saving lives on the front line of mental health services against impossible odds. Did you ever know that you're my hero?
Well, you saved this podcast, Dan, and I'm glad you came on. That's going to...
Oh, you sound like you're wrapping up.
That's going to do it for this
show. He's on his phone again, everybody. He's on his phone.
No. That's going to do it for this show. 45 minutes.
I'd just like to point out CoraQuest is a fantastic family game.
And there we go. That's your last one.
For all
anything
the
else will cost you
dungeon crawling fantasy board game, which is
Jerry does like
amazing.
it. I was quite surprised.
Yeah, no, I meant to grab that audio. I still might grab that audio and plaster it all over.
Very good.
Sporadically board. Like
do it.
Mine. Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Well, Dan, I really do appreciate you coming on. Jerry was unable to make it as normal. He's like, just text me whenever you think you might be able to podcast and I'll see if I'm available. I'm like, no, I'm always available. You text me.
That's a scumbag move. As one spurn podcast host to another. That's a scum, because that puts the responsibility back on your shoulders.
Yes.
And then you feel like the needy one, don't you? You feel like the needy one. Constantly texting, Jerry,
exactly.
Will you come and podcast with me?
It's a power move. That's what it is.
It is you might as well have pissed on your leg. That's what I say.
That's the name of our podcast, Spurned.
I think that's something in it. There's something in it, Gaby. Let's make 2 episodes and never make any more. Let's do it.
Done. Oh. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode of Board Game Snobs. Feel free to contact us at any of the socials at Board Game Snobs. Email us at boardgamesnobs@gmail.com. You can find Dan all over the place, Dice Tower. Are y'all still doing your pirated thing or whatever?
Yeah. Now and again, every once a month, I'm on Board Game Breakfast on the Board Game Breakfast Pirate Show. Going to start doing some reviews with Cora on the Dice Tower again soon, hopefully.
Is that the upcoming thing you can't talk about?
No. I haven't spoken to Tom about this yet, so I'm just going to kind of
got you.
suggest it to him. But me and Cora are planning to do some reviews soon. And Sporadically Bored as well.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and I'll talk to you next time.
Thank you for tolerating this episode of the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.